When we think about domestic violence, we usually picture one type of abuse, and that's physical abuse. But there are actually 6 different types of abuse, and a relationship can be abusive without ever reaching the point of physical violence. So we're going to learn about the different types of abuse now. Physical abuse is when an abusive partner does anything physical to have power and control over a partner. That could be hitting them or shoving them or hurting them in any way. But we should also include physical intimidation in our definition of physical abuse. Physical intimidation could include behaviors like standing in the doorway so that someone can't leave the room during an argument, destroying property, or punching the wall behind someone. This kind of behavior makes the victim feel afraid of physical violence, even when their partner has never hit them. Sexual abuse in a relationship means any forced, non-consensual, or coerced sexual activity. This could include manipulating someone into engaging in sexual activity, like saying, "If you really loved me, you'd have sex with me." It could also mean exposing private photos of someone without their consent. It's important to remember that even in a relationship, each partner has to give their consent enthusiastically every time. People can't give their consent when they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs, when they're under the age of consent, which is 16 in Connecticut, when they're developmentally delayed, or when there's a difference in power between partners. But people also can't give their consent when they're being guilted or manipulated to do so. Verbal abuse is when an abusive partner is using their words to have power and control over their partner. This could be in the form of put-downs, insults, threats, and humiliation. Many survivors who we've worked with at the YWCA say that the verbal abuse sticks with them the longest. If a stranger called you a name, you probably wouldn't like it, but you likely wouldn't think about it when you put your head on the pillow at night. But if someone you love, whose opinion of you matters the most to you, said something mean to you or called you a name, it would impact you much more deeply.
Next is emotional abuse. This type of abuse is the hardest to spot, both by victims and by the people around them. This is because of 2 things that characterize emotional abuse. 1 is manipulation, and 2 is isolation. Manipulation in a relationship might sound like, "I feel like your friends don't like me. Can we hang out just the 2 of us?" Or, "You look so much prettier without makeup. Would you stop wearing it for me?" These comments in and of themselves don't sound unhealthy or abusive. They kind of sound like compliments. But think about how this affects someone over time. If their partner continues to say things about the other one's friends, they stop hanging out with them or keep canceling plans with them, or if they enjoy wearing makeup but stop wearing it to make their partner happy. If they're waking up every morning thinking, "What should I wear that my partner will be okay with? Who can I sit with on the bus that my partner will be okay with?" Who are they not thinking of? Themselves. And isolation can sound like one partner saying, "You always have football practice and never have time for me." So maybe they skip practice and get cut from the team, or they are constantly calling and texting their partner while they're with their friends. So their friends may get annoyed and stop inviting them to hang out because they're not really present when they're with them. This is all intentional because once the victim might feel like they want to leave the relationship, and they've been isolated from their teammates, from their friends, maybe even family and other support systems, who's left in their life besides the abuser? And then there's financial abuse. And many people don't think this type of abuse affects teenagers, but it does. In an adult relationship, it might look like one partner having control over all the financial accounts, or they may not allow their partner to work outside of the home. But in a teen relationship, it could look like one partner who has a car giving their partner rides to work. And once the victim relies on them to bring them to work, maybe the abuser will start an argument on the way there and make them late or miss a shift or even get them fired. Financial abuse is the use of holding something of monetary value or gain over another partner, or preventing their access to money. And finally, there's digital abuse. We didn't used to talk about this because we didn't all have smartphones with us every second of every day. And having a phone now means that you're constantly accessible, whether that be to a partner or even family and friends. We're all kind of expected to respond to messages at lightning speed. And we're still entitled, though, to taking a break from our phones and even to privacy. Digital abuse can look like being forced or coerced into sending nude photos, threatening to leak nude photos on social media, demanding to know someone's passwords, controlling who they follow on social media, and even GPS tracking. Abusers may have the ability to track their partners through their phone on Snap Maps, Find My Friends, or Life 360.